Lead me to some soul today. Oh, teach me, Lord, just what to
Welcome, everyone,
say.
to episode number 78. I can't believe I'm saying that. Number 78 of a series of episodes that we are calling Leading Others to Christ. Those of you that have been listening and watching this series, we really appreciate you being here. But what we try to do during these episodes is stay focused on evangelism. Obviously, there's many things that we could talk about, but one of our goals, and we've tried to say this every time, is to stir us up, to love and good works, but especially in the area of reaching our family and friends with the gospel of Christ. My name is Dan Barker, and I currently am a minister, evangelist for the Vestavia Church of Christ, which is in Vestavia Hills, just south of Birmingham, Alabama. And those of you that know me, you know that I'm passionate about our subject today, passionate about evangelism. And I have been ever since I obeyed the gospel when I was 21 years old in Owensboro, Kentucky. Ever since then, I really have. I've been striving to, and I use some phrases here that I try to do in the intro, been striving to teach others, been striving to sow the seed, to help others, to fish for men and women, to make disciples, to persuade men and women, and to teach others to teach. Always remembering what Paul said to Timothy in 2 Timothy 2:2, when he said, and I think this is just so powerful, he said, "The things that you've heard from me among many witnesses, commit these to faithful men and obviously women who will be able to teach others also." And then later on in the same chapter, he talks to Timothy about being useful for the master, prepared for every good work. So we came up with this idea back when COVID hit, to find and identify the Christians, the men and women, the fellow workers who are out there that are doing this, find out where they are and reach them and interview them like this, so we can learn from them and see why they're doing what they're doing and how they're doing it, how they're reaching people in the community. So that's a quick little backdrop on leading others to Christ. So we're really excited today to have someone with us I think we're going to learn a lot from. So if you're watching, get your pad out and your pen and take some notes here. If you're driving, just listen. But anyway, we've got Andrew Ulmer with us today. Welcome, Andrew.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we really do appreciate you taking the time to come and be with us today. Andrew works with the Taylorsville Road Church of Christ in Louisville, Kentucky, and again, we're just really excited to have you with us. And time goes so fast, Andrew. I think we're going to just jump right in, if that's okay. If you would, for the ones out there that don't know Andrew, give us a short bio, if you will, of let's just say where you were born and how old you were when you were baptized. If you would, just get us started with that. Who is Andrew Ulmer?
Well, I was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky, so I've never left. And I did not obey the gospel until I was 36 years old. Now, my story is unique, but there might be some that are watching can very much connect with it. I was brought up in a very traditional sense, in the religious sense, I should say. My first experience with religion was brought up being part of a group that was Evangelical United Church of Christ, and it was very, as I say, traditional in the sense, but they also had a pipe organ. My father was the organist, and there was a choir, and then that was a small group, and we eventually merged with another group, and that was still part of it. Dropped that evangelical aspect and just was UCC, and I was there for a little bit, and then I kind of decided, well, you know what, this whole church religion wasn't for me, and so I decided to go by the ways of the world, and decided, you know what, I wanted to do my own thing. And I probably went off for about 10 years just doing what I wanted to do and made everything about me. And then when I decided that, you know what, this living in the world and deciding that I was the center of it, that it wasn't working, I came to the realization, you know what, maybe having a relationship with God is not such a bad idea. And I started searching, and someone invited me to attend their group. I did not ask them for their group specifically, but they invited me anyway. And it was like a community church type of setting. And the person who was the pastor there would say, if people pressured you into saying like, well, what denomination are you? Because on the sign, on the moniker, it did not say that it was a Baptist church, but it came from a Baptist church plant.
Okay.
And after a while, I was there for like 5 years. I just began to have a lot of questions. And I did not feel that I was getting the answers to those questions. And so I was not necessarily looking for a new church. And I just wanted to find some people to study the Bible with. And I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself with telling this, that you might have wanted to lead in a different direction.
That's all right.
But eventually I came across Meetup. Someone had told me about, hey, if you ever wanted to meet some people that just to build relationships with people, not necessarily Christians, but I did find a Bible reading group and decided to, well, I'll give this a shot. And I went, and I found this morning, it was in May, the end of May of 2016. And when I went to my first meetup, and when I went, it was just one other individual and myself. And this turned out to be Eric, who I now work alongside with. And over a period of almost 7 months, not quite 7 months, because tomorrow will be my birthday of when I was baptized.
Your spiritual birthday.
That's right, because I was baptized December 17th, 2016. So it was a period of studying the scripture and learning that I was not following what the scriptures was saying. And when I tell people that I was baptized 4 times, that kind of raises eyebrows about like, what do you mean you were baptized 4 times? Well, I guess I was just that dirty, that I need to be cleaned and washed. But I was sprinkled when I was a baby. I felt that I needed to recommit myself a second time with one of the UCC groups, actually the second one when we emerged. And then the third time I felt that still I just need to express my commitment to the relationship with the Lord. And then finally I obeyed what the scriptures had set out as what baptism really is all about, and finally understand that that's what I needed to do. There's much more, and I know that I probably spent too much time talking, but and there's more to the story. But I know that you probably have some questions, and I did not want to just take all the time.
No, that's fine. No, you gave me several things there that we could certainly talk about. I think I guess I'll jump to the one, the last one there when you because we've talked to others and interviewed others that are using meetups and with some success, and others with didn't work too well. But I think it's really everybody needs to hear this because you were searching first of all, and we need to realize that there are others like Andrew. Nobody's like Andrew Ulmer, but we're all special. But there are others out there that are looking and searching for the truth. They're confused where they are, and I think especially with all the COVID and all the shutdowns and all the confusion that's gone on, a lot of people have left where they were uh, and they're looking to come back. But the fact that you heard about a meetup and you went to a meeting and there was one guy there, and he was there. Eric was conducting the meetup, and he had one visitor, which was you, that ultimately ended up over, would you say, 7 months or so?
Yeah, not quite 7 months, but
Yeah, but ended up with you two studying together, that you were able to see the truth as he showed it to you in the scriptures, and you finally obeyed the gospel properly. But I just think we all need to. Even sometimes we have things and maybe only one or a small group shows up, and we oh well, that's that didn't work. We just don't know who that one person might be, and now here you are, what, 6 years, like are you 6 years old today?
be tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you look older. You look you're
Yeah.
very very mature looking 6 year old. But the fact that in 6 years ago you were a brand new Christian, and here today you're preaching, and doing trying to do all the things that you are for the Lord, and I just think that's a great story, Andrew, and I'm glad we've connected here. Tell us just real quick. Want to try to give a shout out to. Let's talk about Eric for a second. Obviously, you were impressed with him, and you said he's somebody we probably need to interview down the road. But what impressed you? And it's not about him, but with that meetup, what helped you with that process to see how did he? I'll use the word handle. How did he work with you when you came to the meetup?
Well, he remembers a whole lot more details than I do.
Maybe we wait and let him share that. Well, anyway, but
well, no. I'm just saying that he tells me that I had a lot of questions, and no doubt coming from a denominational framework,
yes.
that of course he listened well,
Yes.
and he was willing to answer my questions, and that is so vital. Someone that could just sit, you have a question, and then that to spend time with you, to give of your time, because we realize that time is a commodity that we will never get back, and to be able to just give of yourself, and to be caring, and to be willing to open up the scriptures and say, okay, let's look at what God's word says,
yes,
and not try to alter it. And he wasn't beating me over the head, and that's one of the key things that's very, I think, attracts someone, and also being knowledgeable in the scriptures, someone who loves to study, and
yes,
that's very much, I think, another key factor that attracts someone that's passionate about just the word.
right. Just out of curiosity, where was the meetup? Where did y'all meet that first time?
I don't know if you have Myers where you are located, but it's like a Walmart, like
Yeah.
that setting.
Okay.
and it was just set off into the cafe where you sit down. They had tables, and it might have intimidated someone, and thankfully I wasn't intimidated that the subject matter was Revelation. That's what
Oh,
the
wow.
meetup was
Wow.
geared toward.
Yes. Well, that's a good way to start the meetup, right? That's good.
Yeah.
That's great. Tell us just real quick a little bit about the ones that are not familiar with the Taylorsville Road congregation. Just give us a little snapshot about the group, if you would.
Well, we are a group about 50 to 60 members. We are a group that has 2 elders and 4 deacons. And I'm very grateful that we have men that fulfill those roles.
Yes.
And Eric and I are the 2 evangelists, and we're seeking to just as we shift into this new year. I mean, each year we have a yearly theme, and so throughout the year we try to incorporate messages to support that theme. Right now, our theme is transforming hearts, renewing our minds, and we are seeking to focus on that aspect as well as talk about other things during the year. But I like that one of our deacons has set up 4 work groups so we can kind of on a weekly basis get to know one another. That's part of the goal there, to build those connections and relationships. And one of the things, as far as evangelism wise, we're sending out brochures that talks about who we are and invites people to reach out to us if they want to have a study. And hopefully we will have people that will get that in the mail and read and see that, hey, this might be something that interests me. It's not asking for a large commitment. It's just saying like, hey, if you just want to just meet one time and just give us one meeting of just seeing who we are. But that's very just a short glimpse
No,
of who we are.
okay, that's good. The that's one of the things that we found. As I said earlier, you're number 78, but we've interviewed people from New York to California to Washington to Florida, Texas, North South Carolina, Canada, and we're all teaching the same gospel, but every community is really different. And it's been fun for us to move from Indianapolis, Indiana, to Vestavia Hills, Alabama, and just the difference in the culture, the difference in the communities, and the number of, like for here, the number of colleges, the number of hospitals that are in the area, and hills. That's why they call it Vestavia Hills. We moved from in our part of Indiana where we were was just as flat as it could be, and now we're living in the mountains. And so Gay and I have been adjusting to the mountains here, and but I think it's good that you have 2 elders and 4 deacons there and 2 evangelists, and well, we really pray for your work there. And let's tell us. I want to give this enough time, but I know that one of the things and how we met each other, you actually reached out to me because we've never met in person, right? And Lord willing, we'll be able to do that. But you were calling me to see if I would be willing to be interviewed by you or to be on your program called Let's Talk. So if you would tell everybody about Let's Talk and what your goal and purpose of that program is.
Well, at the beginning of the pandemic, my counterpart, Eric, we wanted to figure out what were some ways how we could still connect with people. And like a lot, groups took advantage of Zoom. And so during that period of time up until now, we've put together a number of programs. But at the beginning of 2022, I just shortly before it, I got interested in wanting to develop relationships with other preachers and to make connections with other individuals that were proclaiming the gospel.
Yes.
And so since I wanted to get to know other people, build connections, build relationships, I thought that this is one way. And also the main goal is to have an evangelistic tool made available for people to first and foremost target the audience that like myself came from being taught in air. But for instance, I didn't think I was taught in air. I thought I was a Christian. But also for people that may not know God or anything about the Bible or who Jesus is. And so I wanted to do something that was laid back, informal, maybe inviting, that would connect people to the word. And so I just decided to start reaching out to Christian brothers that are evangelist preachers. And thankfully, I've known some locally, and then I started just reaching out to those that I have met either from going to maybe some gatherings in other states that I collected information, or just using, for instance, Steve Rudd's website, bible.ca, and just inviting other preachers. And Lord willing, right now I've done 22 so far, and my goal was initially do 2 a month, and I'm on track to fulfill that goal for the year. But Lord willing, this will be a continual work that I continue to spend some time getting to know other preachers and just talking about things that that people can relate to. Some things that are very much people that have been in the church a long time may find more on the milk side, more of things that are common knowledge to them, but maybe not be so common knowledge to people that don't know about God, and maybe more of the meatier topics, those that are heavier. And so it's really for anyone in wherever walk they are with the Lord. So that's just a little bit about the program. Let's Talk One-on-One with the Bible.
Well, and Lord willing, I'll be one of those coming up here soon, right? And I look forward to being on that with you, and encourage you to keep that up. I still am impressed, and we give God the glory for everything. But the fact that you're doing the things that you are, and you're only 6 years old as a Christian, and not even tomorrow, and I just commend you for that. And Matt just held up we've got 5 minutes to go, if you can believe that. But usually I asked this earlier on, but I'm going to ask it now. Of why are you doing what you're doing? Of all the things Andrew could be doing, why are you involved in evangelism? How would you answer that?
Well, I think I've been blessed with a precious gift, the most precious gift that anyone could have. And hopefully I can serve the Lord by giving back and learn how to be a servant. That if I can just, as he demonstrated to his disciples on the last night, if I can be willing to be a humble servant, just to have that title. I know that we want to wear the title and the name Christian, but just to be his servant is something that hopefully I can strive to be. I actually started part-time in 2020 with Taylorsville Road, and then it became full-time in 2022. And if I can just continue to grow and mature, and there's no greater joy than I experience when I talk about Scripture, when I'm given a message from Scripture. I know that it's that the point is not to experience an eternal emotion, feeling. That's not the end goal. But I must be honest that the joy, it's that peace that that is expressed beyond our comprehension, beyond our understanding. And then I can be able to have that gift that God allows me, that pleasure, that privilege to be able to share the truth, that there has been no greater joy in my life. And I'm just so grateful that God has been willing to offer that gift to me.
Well,
and I should be willing to share that with someone else.
Absolutely. And that's the attitude that we're trying to stir up here by doing this series, leading others to Christ, is for all of us to realize it's because of the grace of God that we're sitting where we are, and we're not supposed to just hide behind the walls of the church building, if you will, but we're supposed to be going out there trying to teach others, and I just think it's a great story, and just God being involved in your life. I love to study about the providence of God. And if you go back and look at your story, you can see God at work in your life and just the things that you went through. And I do a lot of what ifs. What if you hadn't been looking? What if you hadn't searched out and found this thing called Meetup? What if you hadn't gone that day? You know what I'm saying? What if you hadn't gone that day to meet Eric? You didn't know who you were going to meet. You didn't know who was going to be there. And what if you hadn't been encouraged by that and kept meeting with him? You wouldn't be sitting here today. And so we give God the glory for that. And there's, as I said earlier, there are other Dan Barkers and there are other Andrew Ulmers out there that are looking. And we need to be aware of that and excited about that. And we pass by them every day, in the store, at Myers, or wherever we might be, the different ones that are out there that are looking. So that's so good. I do a thing at the end, and we've got to close this out, but I call it the one thing. So let's say somebody's watching and listening to this. They hear Andrew's story, and they start thinking about themselves and thinking maybe they've been involved in evangelism, but they've gotten discouraged. Maybe during the COVID, they're down, and this has got them up, or maybe they've never done it before at all. And listening to you has got them thinking, you know what? This is a role that we're all supposed to be involved in, and I haven't been doing it, and I need to step up. What would you say would be one thing that they need to learn how to do to be involved in leading others to Christ?
Man, there have been so many that have just flooded my mind, and even in preparation for our discussion. And I don't know, I hate to say it, I don't know if I could just narrow it to just one.
All right.
But you know what? Someone, and I've heard a lot of these, I don't think that none of these are original to me, but when we feel rejected by someone, and this is one of the things that I think we struggle with probably the most, is rejection, and we get down, as you say. And we must not take it personally, because they are not rejecting us. They are ultimately rejecting God. And this coincides with, we were just supposed to be, sowing the seed or presenting the gospel. And I think that we can get hung up in saying, well, I'm not baptizing people. We can get hung up on that reaper side, and someone who is also keen on evangelism, we wouldn't agree doctrinally, had that aspect of we can get caught up in the sense of, well, this individual is just reaping the reward, so to speak, of just baptizing a whole bunch of people. And it just, when you brought this question up, made me think of both Elijah and Paul when they were in both situations where they were at. The Lord had to tell them that, you know what, there's still a lot of people where you're at that have either not bowed to another God, that they are committed to me. You just need to go out and find them. And so one final thing I'll add that we need to be okay with saying is, I don't know.
Yes.
Because sometimes the right answer is, I don't know, to a question. We're not privy to everything under the sun. And sometimes we can say, I don't know, but let me see if I can find an answer for you. And just getting used to saying things like that. And I have to tell myself these things over and over, and need to be reminded of these things over and over. And so if I can encourage myself and encourage others to think in that type of way, maybe possibly we could be more effective and more willing to go out there and just push ourselves a little bit. And it maybe just changing our language a little bit, just by starting out by saying, have a blessed day, and God bless you. Just if I may, if you permit me, just one final thing that I could say that I've found that really works well with people and that people connect with a lot. I like to, where I go now most days, if I'm trying to make connections with people, is a local coffee shop. And if I'm sitting nearby somebody and I ask God to help me to be bold to just say hello to this person, I usually will say, look, I just like to, when it presents itself, to express well wishes to people. And I just like to be able to say, I like to say that I hope that you and your loved ones are doing well. And if there's anyone, whether it be yourself or any of your loved ones, that I can add to my prayers, can I do that? And 9 times out of 10, people are receptive to that. And so there's a lot there I'll offer to you, not just one thing. And I do apologize for abusing just the one thing, and gave a lot there for you.
No, don't you apologize at all. And it's kind of a tongue in cheek to say one thing, because it's hard to narrow it down. But that was really good, and I commend you for going to the coffee shop and trying to reach people, and just to have somebody. I mean, who how do you know the next one that you do that to? They're just dying inside. They're having all kinds of family problems or health issues or whatever it might be, and maybe they're searching and they don't know who to talk to. And here you walk up in the coffee shop and say something like that to them, and it could be indeed a blessing in disguise. So I think we all have gifts. We need to find out what they are, and we need to put them to work. And something that we started doing years ago, and we're doing it here now at Vestavia, is you touched on it. I thought I'd share it real quick. Is that we call it celebrate the sowing. And yeah, we celebrate the harvest when somebody obeys the gospel, or maybe somebody repents and comes back. But we like to celebrate, like you celebrating the fact. Are you going to the coffee shop today? Are you going to go today?
I think that is a good possibility.
All right. So whatever happens there, celebrate that. Whatever conversation that you have, and just like when Eric, that day that you showed up at the meetup, just for him, inside he had to be celebrating or just thanking God that somebody showed up there that was interested in spiritual things. But all right, brother, thank you. You've been very, very good today, and very motivating, and we appreciate what you're doing. And hey, if I could get everybody on here, we'd sing happy birthday to you for tomorrow. But happy 6th spiritual birthday. And that's something that we started doing years ago too. We'd have people write down in their Bible the day that they were baptized, and I would say, that's your new birthday. You were born again today, and celebrate that every year. All right. Well, thanks, brother. And as I said, Lord willing, we'll talk to you soon. Please share this with the others there at Taylorsville Road, and we will talk soon. So thanks again so much.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Who pray, melt my heart and fill my life. Give me one soul today.